Hello and welcome to the cryptocurrency news channel. We're getting news again that big players are putting a lot of their money in Bitcoin, which could possibly signal a bottom pretty soon. But, big players sometimes aren't that great because Binance bought in 43,000 Bitcoins at 43,000 and we're about 1,500 below 43,000. However, we have been holding this level for a couple of days now. We did have one sharp drop today, but it's actually rebounded well above 40,000 right now. So maybe we're at a bottom and some of these millionaires and billionaires will start coming in. So billionaire investor Bill Miller puts 50% of net worth in Bitcoin. Now, I don't actually know exactly how much Bill Miller's worth. I did some research. Some estimates put him at like 2 billion, others put him at 500 million. So let's say he puts $500 million or more than $500 million in Bitcoin. Now that's a big investment for anyone. Well, I guess unless you're like Jeff Bezos or something, then it's really not that much. But for him, it's a fairly large investment. 50% of his net worth in Bitcoin. He must really believe in it. And these big fat cats, and yes, he is a fat cat with $1 billion. These big fat cats of industry don't just put billions of dollars in cryptocurrency if they think it's going to massively drop more. Now, he's allocating about 50% in Bitcoin and the related equity. And that related equity would be things like MicroStrategy, which is basically Bitcoin. So he's putting his money in Bitcoin and things that depend on Bitcoin. So he is all in on cryptocurrency. He doesn't consider himself just a Bitcoin observer, but rather a real Bitcoin bull. Well, I guess if you're putting $1 billion in Bitcoin, you had better be a Bitcoin bull, because if you're not, you're just dumb. The billionaire investor now holds 50% of his net worth in Bitcoin and related investments in major industry firms like MicroStrategy and Stronghold Digital Mining. He was also an early Amazon investor, and that's where he got a lot of his money. He first bought Bitcoin in 2014 when it was trading around $200, so now he has a bunch, and he purchased a little more over time when it became $500. And then he didn't buy for years until Bitcoin plummeted to $30,000 in April of this year. But obviously he invested a lot at $200. This time I started buying it again at $30,000, down from $66,000. And the reasoning is there's a lot more people using it. I don't know about more people using it, honestly. I think it's just more people speculating on it, in my opinion. Maybe more people using it in other countries, but in the United States, I would guess it's more people speculating on it, but I guess that's good enough for him. So the billionaire investor noted that he looks at Bitcoin as an insurance policy against financial catastrophe. So he's using it as a hedge. Most people see it as a speculative asset. So he poured in as much as 50% in BTC and related markets. Miller recommended individual investors put at least 1% of their assets into Bitcoin. But the thing is, if you don't need money for the short term and you need money for the long term, 1% may not be enough, because if a billionaire fat cat is willing to put 50% into Bitcoin and related markets, then you should probably put more than 1%, because they must have a better outlook on the overall market, or maybe even insider information that they're not telling us. And his quote is, "I think the average investor should ask himself or herself, what do you have in your portfolio that has that kind of track record? Number one, it is very, very underpenetrated. That's true. We're still spreading. And can provide a service of insurance against financial catastrophe that no one else can provide. I guess as much as can be provided, and can go up 10 times or 50 times, the answer is nothing. If you're going to say gold, don't, because that's heavily manipulated by one or two entities. Even though Bitcoin does have manipulation, to be sure, it's not so much by one or two entities, because no bank actually controls Bitcoin. So now celebrating his 40th anniversary in the investment business, Miller currently serves as Chief Investment Officer of Miller Value Partners. So he actually invested a lot of his fund in Bitcoin as well. So, that's just to show you that even though Bitcoin is down, there are a lot of fat cats in Bitcoin. And when there is a lot of fat cats in an industry, that industry is not going to go down easily because it has financial interest in it. And these big wigs with billions of dollars do think Bitcoin is going to grow massively in the future. Now, I don't know if he's any altcoin holdings, and I would say he should have some altcoin holdings if he doesn't, because those are going to grow even more than Bitcoin. I'm sure he's looked into other equities and other cryptos. But, these guys, basically, like a lot of these big guys, they're not watching the sidelines, and as it dips, they are buying more. Like Binance just bought 43,000 Bitcoin, worth 1.6 billion last week, so they might think like we're gonna make a turnaround soon. And this guy probably just invested more today, up to 50% of his net worth, and he's not taking it out because he actually believes in it for the future. So I really wouldn't be afraid if you're holding Bitcoin long term. There's no reason to really panic. And these guys are in it, like all these guys are in it right along with us because they know that it's going up soon. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.